This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, good day, everyone. I am Steve Zeminski on behalf of Wealth Foundations Northwest. I'd like to welcome you all to the weekly prepper, getting you ready for the week of July 13th. Reach out to us, learn more, give us an idea of what it is that you want to see with these videos. Happy to help. Just a quick reminder that your trades are yours, not ours. We don't act as advisors in any way, shape, or form. The trading does, in fact, involve risk. Okay, so having a normal schedule this week for our subscribers and normal schedule the week following as well. So no change to our normal schedule, which involves power education sessions and trade alerts and all of those good things. So we've been doing extremely well in our model portfolio. We're up over 80% year to date. We've turned 10K into 18K from the start of the year. That's excellent. And so that's almost 160% annualized return. So crushing the markets, even though the markets have had an okay year. And so the lot more winning trades and losing trades here. And we just closed out another winner. This was Unity Software Covered Call. I got assigned for full profit, 218, and we did that relatively short order, about a week. And so now we're looking to do more. Now, as far as the existing trades, this is eight-legged trade and calculate all this stuff. So we're down on Adobe, waiting for the Boeing, but at least it's starting to go in the right direction. We need to do more cash flow. We're down on Qs a little bit too, but it's perking up, and we need to continue our cash flow on that Gorilla Call calendar spread. And net, we're up on the Ironfly and Iron Condor on Mo. So we'll look at each and every one of those. So here is, so let's go check out Adobe. So Adobe, what we want to happen on Adobe is we want this to fail. So it had a day of capitulation where it closed near the low of the day, and it kind of failed near this top here. It didn't quite touch the 50 SMA. I expect that to resist as well. If you are not in this trade, you could still get in this trade, I think. We're just waiting for this thing to roll over and fail. I got half a mind to double down here. So we're above 90 on the 2-day RSI. Gosh, it's a tough one. The on-balance volume is surging, so I don't think I'm going to double down on it. I'm just going to wait to see what it does from here and go from there. So here are the Qs. So the Qs are still stuck in this pennant formation, which notice the surge in on-balance volume. That's bullish. And the fact that we broke above the 20 SMA, closed above it twice in a row, so that's positive, that's bullish. And there's little room to run before we hit that trend line resistance. And that could cause, we had relative strength in the Qs this week and expect more of that. So I'd like to sell a short, maybe at or above this trend line resistance, maybe around 735, let's call it. Let's try to sell a short at 735 in our portfolio. So let's go to trade and go to QQQ. Just bring in cash flow, right? So if you're going to try to sell somewhere out, maybe about a week or so, higher than where we think it's going to go in the short run, okay? And so let's look at the monthly. And so around that 735 resistance area, let's see what we can get for that. 735, pretty far out of the money, but God, are you kidding? Look what that pays. That pays $3. What am I missing here? Well, I don't have to go out that far, I guess. I could just sell that. Maybe I'll go a little shorter term now that I see that. Maybe I'll sell, maybe to Tuesday or so. And we'll look at that near the close of Monday and see if we can get 265 selling that to the 16th. I like that. No, that's Thursday. So why am I not saying something's, yeah, I guess this is right. They have Monday, here's Tuesday. No, this is Wednesday, so we could sell it to Wednesday, which is fine, 735. That pays $1.92. Why don't we go to Tuesday, and then we'll have a trading lab here early in the week, and we'll reassess if we need to roll it or something like that. But 735 feels pretty solid. I'm going to take $1.13 out to the 14th. Okay, I think that's Tuesday. Double check that. So the 14th is Tuesday. Yeah. So we'll sell one that expire Tuesday. That's really good cash flow. Let's do that. Now I want to look at Monday. I can't help myself. What if we just sell one that, well, no, we're going to need to get filled on Monday. I'm going to want it to go one overnight because we'll get paid so much better for one overnight. Let's do that. Okay, because it won't fill until. So I'm going to go ahead and put this on at mark. I don't normally put market orders on and when the market's closed. Now let's just put it into natural and then we'll play with it on Monday morning. All right, so that's really awesome to get 100, anywhere close to $100 on an option that's going to expire 2 days after it fills. I like that. I like that a lot. So that's why I like the whole concept of these calendar spreads, horizontal spreads. Okay, I have a closing order on Mo. This is the Iron Fly. If I can get closed at this debit, I'll have a nice short-term profit. So that isn't filled yet. As far as whether or not we're still in that range on Mo, we are, but we're at the bottom of the end of that range. And so if we can move up a little bit, bounce, see how it held the 50 and the 20 SMA right here. So if I can get a bounce here to the middle of that short-term range, both of these trades should be even more profitable, and we'll probably punch on the Iron Fly first. But yeah, there's nothing wrong with this Iron Condor right now. They're both, I think, looking just fine. Just they need more time to cook, a little bit more theta decay. All right, let me look while I'm here. I want to show you the one trade I want to put on right now besides selling that short on the Qs. And that is, I want to do a simple bull call spread. I want to do something more with financials here. A simple bull call spread on MasterCard. I want to do something like, I don't know, buy the 530s and sell the 545, something like that. So let's go ahead and maybe 525, 545, or 550, whatever. It depends on what's available. And I want to go fairly short term, in and out here before the next earnings. You know, is a week long enough? Let's go 2 weeks. And so if I buy the five, well, the spreads are a little wide over the weekend. Maybe I should just do the weekly and see how it plays out. Let's do the weekly, get a little bit better spreads. You can have wide spreads on an expensive stock anyway, but I'd like to minimize that. I'm going to buy the 525s and then sell near 545 or 550, depending on what has the best. It doesn't pay much up there, does it? So I'm going to sell the 5. Yeah, I'm going to sell the 540s. I like round numbers. Oh, I forgot to do that thing that I always forget to do. Got to hit control. 525 long, 5, and then you're because of the spread, you definitely want a midpoint fill. So we'll pay 525 for that. That seems reasonable to me. Okay, definitely want a midpoint fill. We'll just go out a week on that. See if we get a short-term bounce. The excitement of the financials earnings should help us out here. All right, so general market commentary also. Let's look at the SPY. And this is significant. So I was noticing that we were in a daily downtrend and we broke that this week. Okay, so a little bit bullish on the SPY. Now we're up near this area that might resist a little bit as well. And then we've got another area above it, or it could just power right through that. Time balance volume is starting to surge. So that looks overall pretty good. The Russell looks overall pretty decent, holding its key moving average there. And then the Dow certainly looks fine too. The Dow looking very healthy with that on balance volume surging too. I wouldn't be opposed If we weren't already long the Qs, I wouldn't be opposed to a simple bull call spread or something, or a cash flow trade on the diamonds as well. So that looks very solid, if you ask me. Now here's gold. So gold's struggling, gold and silver struggling. That descending triangle has already played out as I thought it would. So it's already gone down by about almost by the amount that we expected, and it's kind of chopping it. Is it going to hammer out a bottom here? Well, it hasn't yet. Unbalanced buying doesn't look too bad, but it's still it's a little bit resistive with this. I don't think it's ripe for the picking just yet. Okay, but I'm watching it. I would love to get long gold again, but it's got to break that trend line. Okay, I got to see a little bit more. Now, I might do it through attrition here because it formed a higher low a couple of times here. So that might um, break past that level here soon. Keep an eye on it. I think it may be close to a buy, but not yet. Same thing with silver. Not there yet, but I think it could. Now, IBIT, I think, is hammering out a bottom here. I feel better about IBIT. Look at that on-balance buying formed a new high. It's going to have a little bit of overhead resistance here, but I think it's on its way. I'm gonna with a little bit of trepidation, call a bottom on IBIT, but I think it's going to be slow. So I don't think you need to rush right out, is part of what I'm thinking here. I've got an alert set at this level right up here. So when it breaks above, when it breaks above here, this Donchian channel, there's really not much to stop it from going much higher. So I'm just kind of watching all of those very, very carefully. Okay, let me go through my slides and we'll call it a day here. So we've gone over our existing trades and our recent closed trades. So yellow means it's still open. Pink means it was closed for a loss. Green means it was closed for a gain. All right. So here is the seasonality. We want to look at the bottom one. Basically, a whole lot of chop between now and the end of August. So we have to do our cash flow trades. We have to do spread trades, covered calls, things like that. And then watch our heinies during September, and then get ready for a nice bull run to close out the fourth quarter. All right, last week, the AI tech trade was very choppy. The Qs ended up leading the way, up 1.81%. That's good. But it did so in a very choppy fashion. So, just is it up one day, down one day, up 5%, down 5%. So it's not an easy trade right now. So I don't want to be heavy into it, but we've got the Qs, and that's enough for me. The unweighted S&P actually made a new high. So if you take all that tech business out of the equation, it made a new high, and SPY also had a strong week too. Crude ticked up on news a little bit, but then kind of pulled back again. So crude, it was up 5% for the week, but it was down 7% last week. So it's still chopping around that low 70s area. Metal's still down. We looked at that. Economic reports were still good. Jobless claims good. ISM numbers fine. So things last week were pretty quiet before the earnings. The strongest sector, of course, was energy, and tech had a good week. Communications is really led mostly by Meta. So Meta's on a tear right now. The weakest were materials, healthcare, and industrials. Healthcare still looks good to me. It's just had a little bit of a pullback. You might be able to find a Boing or something like that somewhere in healthcare. So you can see that on Friday, all of these defensive things did pretty well. Technology, most things still positive. Healthcare took a breather. For the week, technology, energy were strong. For the month, financials, healthcare, utilities, and tech were the strongest sectors for the month. So I'm intrigued by, so here is the weekly heat map. You can see NVIDIA and AMD starting to surge again, and most things doing pretty well. You'd see Meta, big pop on Meta, but across the board, most things doing really well, except healthcare just taking a breather, what looks to me to be a temporary breather. I think there may be buying opportunities in healthcare. So looking ahead, summer trading, folks. So the markets in tech was still range bound, but holding up pretty well, and don't expect much to the downside or the upside. We've got overhead resistance. We got downside support. Iran losing its leverage on the Strait of Hormuz because of the rerouting of oil by the Emirates going directly into the Red Sea, people trying to find a way around using the Strait of Hormuz. So that's going to lower the leverage that they have at all, right? And then so if they keep acting, Iran wants to come back to the table. What if they keep misbehaving? Then they could get their embargo back onto their port. So bank stocks kick off second quarter earnings. I think this is important. I think it's very important. Inflation reports and Fed speak also could be market makers. So whereas last week was predictably kind of a boring week, I expect this one to be a little more volatile based on the inflation news, the Fed speak, and how these initial earnings come kicking off here. I expect it to be decent. I expect financials to stay strong. That's why I want to get in on MasterCard. And among others, there's others that I'm interested in too. And I think there's going to be a rebound in healthcare, maybe some buying opportunities in healthcare too. We'll take a look at the XLV. Maybe there's a boing there. I wouldn't mind getting in on that. I think everything else except oil should be pretty moderate. So I'm not expecting anything huge, but it could be volatile, a little more volatile than last week because all these earnings start to kick off here on Tuesday. Monday could be boring, but the rest of these things start to kick off and kick in on Tuesday. Watch Netflix at the end of the week. That's getting very interesting. It's been beaten down, but with some good news on Thursday. United Healthcare is pretty big. So we do have some bigger stocks coming in this week. So before I leave you, let me just take that one look at XLV, see if it's in a boing. If so, we might take it. So yeah, see how it's got that beautiful upward momentum. And then the 2-day RSI is below 30. I think this is a rally-based rally support right here too. I guess the only thing that bothers me a little bit is the on-balance volumes coming in a little bit, but after 4 down days in a row, I think it's kind of primed to rebound. I'm going to take this. I'm going to take a boing trade on XLV. And so I'm going to go to trade. I just like it. I just like this one. I'm going to go out to August on this one and just simply buy a call, 35 to 45 delta out to August. Keep it real simple, guys. Just buy a call out to the August monthly, 35 to 45 delta. So we could go as low as 165, or we could go as high as 163. Which one's got the best spread here? I think this one does, 163. I'm going to take that. I'm going to do 2 of those and put it in at the midpoint fill. Okay, so don't pay full price for that. Okay, confirm and send. It fills or it doesn't. And we'll see on Monday. Might babysit it a little bit to help it coax it to fill. That's all I got on behalf of Wealth Foundations Northwest. It has been my pleasure to have been your coach today. Good luck, good trading, everybody. See you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.